You are watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV from Toronto, Ontario. I'm Catherine Bullock. Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. Today, a conversation with Monia Mazigh, author, human rights activist, and winner of the Ottawa 2021 Book Award, about the Canadian literary scene. But first, some news headlines. PCs win another majority. NDP and Liberal leaders resign. London family remembers slain relatives ahead of first anniversary. Researcher investigates conflicting identities of young Canadian Muslims. Thousands mourn Palestinian female journalist killed by Israeli forces. And now, the details. Progressive Conservative leader Doug Ford led his party to yet another victory in Ontario's provincial election for a second term in a row. With a total of 83 seats, the PCs will form government with an even stronger majority than the 2018 Assembly. The sweeping victory was paired with the resignation of two provincial party leaders. Down 9 seats from 2018, Democratic Party leader of 13 years, Andrea Horwath, will retire from her head position. Liberal leader Stephen Del Duca did the same, following a significant loss in his own home riding. With 8 seats, the Liberal Party does not qualify for official opposition status. As the first anniversary of the tragic attack on a Muslim family in London, Ontario approaches, a relative says the heartache continues. Salman Afzal, Madiha Salman, Yumna Afzal, and Talat Afzal were run down by a vehicle on June 6, 2021, in an attack police say was motivated by hate. Writing on behalf of the surviving family, Umar Afzal said Wednesday, and I quote from local media, "It is the deepest sadness when you realize the people who gave you the best memories have become but a memory." In the statement, Afzal thanked the London community for their support and condemned violence and discrimination. The accused faces charge of murder and terrorism and will undergo trial in September. A new study funded by the Social Science and Humanities Research Council is investigating how young Muslims reconcile the values of Canadian society with religious and cultural demands. The tension often leaves first and second generation Muslim youth disconnected. Project lead Dr. Ahmed Jamal says to local media that the research will help develop strategies to prevent disengagement. Religious and faith-based organizations can also use the framework to encourage positive youth development. Jamal says the study has already gained international attention and has the potential to examine youth identities around the globe. Thousands of people on Wednesday attended a funeral for a Palestinian female journalist killed by Israeli forces in the occupied West Bank. Pictures and a video clip circulated on social media platforms showed Ghufran Harun Warasne, a 31-year-old journalist, lying on the ground after being shot in the chest. Local media says Ghufran was leaving for her first day of work at a refugee camp when she was shot. The Palestinian Red Crescent said Israeli forces prevented its medics from reaching the scene for about 20 minutes. The Israeli army, for its part, said Ghufran had allegedly attempted to carry out a stabbing attack. No injuries were reported among Israeli soldiers. And that's it for the news. A saying in English goes, "The pen is mightier than the sword." We have with us today Dr. Monia Mazigh, who has been trying to address stereotypes and exploring the role of Muslim women through fiction. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I know that you have many hats and many achievements, but today we want to focus on your literary writing. You won an award last year, congratulations, from the Ottawa City for French language fiction for what I believe is your third book called Farida. I'd like to start by talking about this book and we'll broaden that a little. So just tell us a little bit about Farida.
So Farida is a woman, Muslim woman, born in Tunisia, my country of origin. And she, in the 1940s, about that. And I follow her in the book about her life, her marriage, her children, her great children. And it is some sort of a metaphor about the life of women in a Muslim Arab country, and how her everyday life is somehow of a struggle to be who she is, to keep her identity as a woman, despite all the patriarchy around her.
My French, I can get by maybe in conversation, but I certainly couldn't read a novel in French anymore. It's been described in English as a woman's struggle with patriarchy. Now, this actually is one of the stereotypes that Muslim women in the West face, that their society and their cultures are patriarchal. Did you worry that writing a book focused on that would contribute to the stereotype?
Not at all, because Farida is actually defying all these stereotypes, and this is why I chose to write about her. So she is a woman, and she has everything to fit into those pre-fabricated sort of boxes that are intended for women. And Farida is outside of that, because she's smart, because she's educated, because she's very really like a strong person and resilient, and she will be able to defy all these stereotypes.
What does she draw on to get her strength to defy the boxes that you said she's in?
It's very interesting. A lot of this is also about solidarity, women together. She learns a lot from her cousin Fatma, but also she actually, it's her sense of pride of who she is, her really like the fact that she reads books. She's someone who is really like interested in books. She has an imagination that is probably different than what the society has been imagining for her.
So 1940s Tunisia, did you have to do a lot of research? Is there any autobiography in this book?
I did a lot of research. There is some autobiography. I got inspired from my own grandmother, who was a woman who really loved books, but unfortunately, because her dad told her, we don't have girls that go beyond primary school. So she had to stay at home, and she had to see her brother become a professor while she just became a woman taking care of her family.
Well, and that's not an old idea, unfortunately. The Taliban has recently said that they won't let girls go past elementary school. How do you see this as an idea that still resonates in the 2020s?
We are still in those sort of the same problems where we as women, as Muslim women, we are either torn between people who want to keep us illiterate, who wants to keep us ignorant, and those who want us to become free, but free according to their own values and not to what we wish for our freedom. So we are really, it's a big, big fight between those traditions and between those who want us to be so secular that we lose our own sort of, ideas, our own really identity in there.
So you mean sort of take off the hijab and become secular in order to be empowered?
Exactly. I mean, they make those very simple and simplistic, I would say, links between hijab and secularism. I can be wearing my hijab and feel that I am strong and be able to do many things. Nothing really stopped me, not at all my hijab. But I think this simplistic idea to say, oh, in order to be free, you have to remove your hijab, I think it's very dangerous and very actually infantilizing for women. Like we cannot be whoever we want to be, how we look, how we dress, how we understand our religion. I think we don't need someone to teach us. And this is really one of the best thing of Islam. I mean, we have this strong relationship with our Creator that can really keep us on the straight path.
So why did you choose fiction as a vehicle to explore these issues?
Very interesting. I remember reading a book by Leela Boulogud, who wrote "Do Muslim Women Need Saving?" And one of the things I learned, I think, from this book and from many other authors as well, is the importance of reclaiming our narrative. I don't need people to write about me. I am going to write about myself, and not only, about myself, but about how I see things around me, about women who look like me, about Muslim women, about maybe women who share the same values as me. And I don't intend to represent all Muslim women, because I don't want to fall into the same stereotypes of brushing and painting all women the same way. But at least I bring a different view to the table, and not having the same sort of books always written about us.
So it's a great honor then, especially to have received a book award. And I gather that it came attached with a little bit of money, which I think is a bit unusual. Congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you tell us what you spent it on?
Not something in particular. It comes with 7,000, if I'm not forgetting the real amount. And trust me, when you are an author, very rare are those who can really just live on whatever they write. So it is, I think, a very good award, and it's more how we feel than more what we can buy with it.
That's right. That's so true. And the award, has it propelled you into a spotlight that you wouldn't otherwise have been in?
Yes and no. I think all the awards have this prestigious sort of, gift that comes with it, and the recognition. Yes, it's a very good and prestigious recognition. It requires to keep doing the same thing, so it comes also with the responsibility to keep really performing, and to keep writing, and to keep publishing, and to keep writing good stories that the public like to read.
We're almost out of time. I want to ask you about that next project, but first of all, just quickly, you write in French, but you're fluent in English. Is that a conscious choice?
It is for a few years, or not few years, for the last, I think, decade, I have been writing mainly in French, because this is a language I felt I know better, and I can write stories, because it's not only knowing, you have to be quite mastering the language. Recently, I decided to write in English. So I just finished a book about gender Islamophobia, a very important and relevant and close to home topic, and I did that in English.
And is that also a fiction?
No, it's a hybrid between a memoir talking about my own journey wearing the hijab, but also about what does it mean to be a Muslim woman in Canada wearing a hijab. So I have statistics. I have unfortunately, some reports about hate crimes, about discrimination. It's some sort of a map of what's going on right now, and what does it mean, and what is the life of a Muslim woman wearing a hijab look like, if I may speak on behalf of other women as well.
Well, we'll book you an appointment to talk about that, but we're out of time for today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for watching Canadian Muslim News. If you like what we do, please share, like, and subscribe. Stay safe, and God bless.